Hey, this is Alex Albaran. Thanks for coming back to my channel. In this video, I want to break down step by step how I went from zero, no connections, right? No money, sold my car to fund my business to, what I have now with lifestyle, but of course, the growth in business and revenue and everything like that, because I think online, on YouTube and even books, people like to talk about the end result of their journey in entrepreneurship. They like to romanticize the hustle and the grind, and they don't really share the step-by-step of how little money were they making 6 months in. Like, what were they eating? What was the sacrifice? Because a lot of people, they look at someone 9 years in, and they have kind of an almost mystical idea about entrepreneurship and how they can get that within 6 or 12 months. And so I want to break down step-by-step in this video, and so hopefully you enjoy. Thank you. All right, I was 18 years old when I started my business. This is year one of my company. I made less than $10,000 over the year. And like I mentioned in the intro, I had $0 in the bank, like no money. I had a $5,000 Mazda Speed 6, 2007, that I made the decision to say, you know what, let me sell the car. I got about, a few $1,000, not even $5,000 from it. And, I didn't have to go anywhere. I was going to college online. I had a Starbucks that was like 5 minutes away biking. So I got a little bike from Walmart. So I started riding my bike to Starbucks every day, and every day, 7 days a week. Right, I would go to church on Sunday morning, volunteer, go to Starbucks after. So I had no distractions, right? No drinking, smoking, partying, no vacations, nothing that would take money, resources, or time, or energy, or focus away from figuring this business out, right? I had no contacts, I had no mentorship, no coaching, or nothing. And so that was year one of my business, right? That's the reality of it, but I never stopped. I always was like, hey, if this guy can do it, if this girl can do it, I could do it. I always had that belief. I still do today at a different scale, but even back then, I always had that belief. And so year one of any business, you're just figuring this out. You're trying to get clients, you're hustling, you have no money, no contacts, nobody's giving you all these referrals. You don't have family in this business. And so that was me. So by year three of my business, I was making a little under $250,000 a year in revenue. I had some people helping me. I was building things, but I made the fatal mistake at this point in my business of, number one, maybe spending a little too much, right? Like, I wanted a Tesla Model 3 so badly. And I was 20, 21 years old. Like, I had good credit, but I had no credit history. And my dad wouldn't co-sign. Nobody would co-sign for me. I wanted to get a Tesla Model 3. And so I used pretty much all my savings at that point. I said, and I got like 50 grand. The car was 42 grand after everything. I'm like, I just want it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna earn it back. Looking back, that was a mistake. I'm glad it worked out, but I pretty much wiped out my entire savings to get a liability. And I love that car. And again, that car kind of put me in the mindset that, hey, like, I'm an entrepreneur, like, I'm in business, this is real. So who knows, maybe without it, I wouldn't have grown after that point. But that was a mistake that I made. Another mistake that I made was I assumed that what I was doing to grow my business would continue working forever in terms of getting new customers. I had a marketing kind of system, a way to get new customers that, hey, from nothing to 250 grand in 3 years, I felt like it was pretty good at the time, but I stopped looking forward in my business. I started working in my business and kind of being okay with, oh, I had a great week, I had a great month. Let me just go hang out. Let me go, watch the fight, or let me just kind of get unfocused on my business. And that was a mistake, right? Because I stopped thinking, what if this marketing system I'm using today shuts off tomorrow, right? So after year three, year four, even leading into 5, I dropped to like 100 grand in revenue a year. That's, for most people that would wipe them out. Luckily, I didn't take on too much overhead, but again, I probably got a little too confident in myself, and I was only 3 years in business. So if anybody's in that stage, I would definitely recommend never getting comfortable. Don't spend too much money on your personal lifestyle. Keep it in the business, and always think about what are new ways I'm going to get customers, right? What I'm doing today, what you're doing today is going to be different 5 years from now, even 10 years from now. So I think if I could go back, which you can't, I would probably change that and say, how can I always be adapting? How can I build future lead sources, future ways of getting customers customers. And so that was year 3 of my business. For year 5 in my business, that was when my revenue got back on track because I got humbled year 4. Like I mentioned, even kind of year 3 where I started to have that dip in revenue, I didn't have that consistency, but I got back on the grind. I said, you know what, I need some more resources. I need to grow my business. So I got an SBA loan, 2 SBA loans actually. This was EIDL, and I got the SBA 7A loan. And that was hundreds of thousands of dollars of business debt that was personally guaranteed. So I put my back against the wall. I didn't stay comfortable. I got outside of my comfort zone and I said, I'm gonna use this money, invest in marketing, invest in my brand, and build my business. And so I think in year 5, that's when I really started to figure that out. I started to get better at sales because, I mean, 5 years of selling with not a lot of track record, a young kid, that's where you really get good at sales because you hear no a lot, you get embarrassed a lot. You're like, oh my God, if I would have said this, it would have worked out. So by year 5, I was starting to get clarity on investing in my business, investing in my brand, building my sales ability, and also understanding who my ideal client is. I think a lot of businesses like me, they take way too long to figure that out. But if you can figure that out early on in your business, that's the best thing you can do, right? Because 80-20, it's really in business 95-5. I mean, 95% of your problems will come from 5% of your clients in all reality. And so you want to think about, well, who's the 95% of clients that cause 5% of the problems? How can I only work with them? How can I focus on them? And it took me a little too long to figure that out, but it's always a work in progress. So again, the lesson I learned is that yes, invest in your business, get the resources you need to market yourself, but I understand who your ideal client is, not who's willing to pay you right now. Think about who's the ideal client that treats me and my team with respect, pays us what we're worth, does what they need to do, they have good expectations, they check all the boxes. And again, for you guys watching, that's the best thing you can do from day 1 in your business. Identify the ideal client who's going to do well with you in a great economy or a bad economy. That's the biggest lesson I learned year 5 in my business. So today, 8 years plus in business, things are going well. I mean, let's just say multiple 7 figures in revenue, but even then I'm scaling, but scaling slowly. A lot of people, once they start to make some money, they love it, right? I mean, we all know in the Bible, the love of money is evil, not money itself. Money is a resource. We all need to improve our life, improve our families' lives, but some people fall in love with money. That's their kind of God, and that's not a good thing. And they just focus on scaling to make more money, to make more money, to make more money, right? They don't focus on, well, do I have the best possible product or service? Do I have the best ideal client I can possibly have? Do I have the best customer service? So that's why in my business, I still work with clients one-on-one many of the time. I make sure that as we scale, if there's bottlenecks, if there's things that need to be adjusted, I do so now so that as I want to scale to the next level, we're building on a strong foundation. A lot of people, they make the mistake of maybe having a marketing system that scales super quickly, but they don't really have delivery down pat. They don't have the sales process down pat. And it comes back to bite them because they're building a house built on cards. It doesn't have a strong foundation. And so I think today what I focus on is only working with ideal clients, like I mentioned before, disqualifying people. Like I could probably make 50% more money if I took on everybody that wanted to work with my team and I, but I disqualify and turn away many people who, again, they have a different expectation. They have different goals. Maybe they come off not in the most respectful way. And I'm like, hey, you can work with many other companies, but it's a two-way street. You have to learn in business at some point. You are delivering a service to the customer, but they're not your God either. Like they need to respect you just as you respect them. And so I think that's very important in my stage of business. And if you're in that point where you're starting to scale, don't focus on the numbers. Focus on, are we working with the right people, the right service, the right client delivery? Because if you do those things right, you'll scale effortlessly. But a lot of people, they scale too quickly. They want the big thing. They just focus too much on the money, not the customers and the clients. I think the takeaway from this video, it's not to dissuade anybody year one in business. I'm here to motivate you and say, hey, look, I started with nothing, no money, no connections, nothing, but through consistency, through commitment, through taking action, I'm able to be where I'm at today. And even today, I'm still in the baby phase of my business. I have probably another 50, 60 years in my business. And so I'm only, again, maybe 15, 20% of the way, if that. So in your business, if you're starting out, or if you have an existing business, think about where you're at, learn from my lessons, don't make these same mistakes yourself. And of course, yeah, I've had some success, but I make these videos more so you can see the reality behind the success. Let me know in the comments, what stage of this journey are you at? Do you have any questions? Do you have any lessons that you'd like to share with the audience? Feel free to comment below, let us know. And of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm here to add value to you any way I can. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.